Monica Jackson, a retired Navy SEAL lieutenant commander, never imagined a simple traffic stop would lead her into a battle for justice. After serving 2 decades in the military and facing some of the world's deadliest situations, nothing could have prepared her for the corruption she would uncover within her country's justice system. It all began one quiet evening when Monica pulled into a gas station, checking directions on her phone. Officer Simmons, a seasoned officer with a history of excessive force complaints, spotted her and decided she looked suspicious. His flashlight beam sliced through the darkness, illuminating Monica's face as he approached with an air of authority. "Step out of the vehicle," he barked, already assuming noncompliance. "Is there a problem, officers?" Monica asked, her voice calm but firm. "Don't question me, just step out," he demanded. Well-versed in de-escalation, Monica knew not to argue. She complied, handing over her license and registration. But Simmons wasn't seeking cooperation. He wanted submission. When Monica hesitated to respond to his barrage of questions, he shoved her against the patrol car and accused her of resisting arrest. "You're assaulting an officer," he sneered. By the time she was booked, Simmons had fabricated a report, claiming Monica had reached for his weapon. It was his word against hers, and history showed that the officer usually won in situations like these. But Simmons had made a crucial mistake. The trial was swift. In the grand courthouse, Monica sat at the defense table, her hands folded, her dark eyes tracking Simmons's every movement. Despite her calm demeanor, she knew this was about more than just her freedom. It was a fight against a system built to protect officers like Simmons at any cost. Simmons, exuding overconfidence, was the first to take the stand. "She was aggressive," he declared. "When I tried to de-escalate, she reached for my weapon." A ripple of murmurs spread through the gallery. Monica's young attorney, Benjamin Carter, whispered nervously, "We need more. His word against yours won't be enough." Monica smiled knowingly. "Patience, Ben. The truth has its own timing." When it was her turn to testify, she stood with the same poise that had carried her through countless missions. "I was checking directions on my phone when Officer Simmons approached," she began. "He didn't ask for identification, he demanded it. When I questioned why, he escalated immediately." "So, you admit to questioning his authority," the prosecutor pounced. Monica met his gaze steadily. "I questioned his motives. There's a difference, one that speaks to the heart of this case." Then came the bombshell. Benjamin played footage from a bystander's phone, showing Simmons yelling, "Women like you need to learn how to listen." The courtroom atmosphere shifted as gasps and murmurs filled the air. The judge called for order as the prosecution's case began to crumble. During a recess, Benjamin approached Monica, clutching a folder. "We have it," he said. Simmons's personnel file. Multiple complaints of excessive force targeting minorities, especially women. They tried to bury it, but we found it. Monica took a deep breath. "It was never just about me, Ben. It's about everyone who never had the chance to fight back. Now we make sure they do." Back in court, Benjamin presented the evidence. The once confident Simmons began to crumble as his fellow officers in the gallery shifted uncomfortably, their support fading. The final blow came when Monica revealed her military background. "I am Lieutenant Commander Monica Jackson, retired Navy SEAL," she announced. A stunned silence filled the room. The jury leaned forward, seeing her in a new light. "For 20 years, I defended this country's ideals of justice and equality," Monica continued. "I faced enemies abroad, navigated hostile territories, and led teams through the most challenging conditions imaginable. But I never expected to face such blatant abuse of power at home, on the very streets I swore to protect." Simmons turned pale. The jury deliberated for less than an hour. Not guilty. But Monica's victory was bigger than just her acquittal. The jury recommended a full investigation into Simmons's conduct and department practices. The judge, visibly troubled, ordered an immediate review of his past cases. Outside the courthouse, reporters swarmed Monica. She stood tall, her military bearing unwavering. "This isn't about revenge," she said. "It's about reform. We give law enforcement power, but with power must come accountability." Today, we took a step in the right direction. Her story spread like wildfire across the country. Police departments reviewed their training protocols, and internal investigations were launched. Simmons was dismissed and later faced criminal charges. However, Monica's true victory was in the conversation sparked by her case. She began speaking at policy forums, advocating for ethical policing and unbiased enforcement. Her unique perspective, as both a veteran and a victim of police misconduct, brought weight to her words. Months later, Monica stood on the courthouse steps, watching the sunset. Her phone buzzed with another precinct asking her to speak on reform. She smiled, knowing her battle had become a catalyst for change. Her Navy SEAL training had prepared her for combat, but her moral compass led her to this victory. Sometimes, the toughest fights aren't won with physical strength, but with an unwavering commitment to truth and justice.